welcome to a brand new series from me, John, aka Old Man Suda. It is a director of football challenge with Tottenham Hotspurs, as you can see, and we'll get into it straight away. Basically, what a director of football challenge is, if you're not sure, is you leave all of the buying and selling of players and all that sort of stuff up to the director of football. Literally, I just concentrate on things like training and the tactics, and that's it. That's all I do. I don't buy players. It's all down to the director of football. So, and I'm even doing it that if someone puts in a bid in for a player or something like that, it's down to the director of football whether they accept it and that sort of stuff. So literally, I have no control over any of that. The only thing I have control over is tactics. I'll show you. I'll just go to the responsibilities and show you. So if I go to the responsibilities, and go to the overall, as you can see, I brought in a director of football. We'll introduce him in a second. But as you can see, so all the staff recruitment is done by him. I only hire or fire the director of football. All the transfer incomings or transfer outgoings, all the contract renewals as well, apart from if the director of football should be given a new contract, and handle negotiations is by me again. But all the scouting is done by the chief scout and the director of football. All the training I'm not doing either. I literally am just doing the tactics, and that's it. I would do the training, but I'm rubbish at training on Football Manager. I can't get it right to save my life. So that's pretty much it. Yeah. As I said, I've picked Spurs. Why did I pick Spurs? Well, I don't know. I was looking at what teams to do, and I thought if I could go to Spain, I could go back and I could change my Borussia Dortmund save that I did. I could turn that into one, but I wanted to do a bit of a different. I wanted to do a completely new team. I wanted to do a team that I thought a lot of people might like the look of, and that I was interested in doing. And I do like. I'm an Aston Villa supporter. They're my team. When I look at the Premiership, though, Tottenham are probably one of the teams I do really like the look of, because they do have quite a lot of decent young players coming through, or sort of hitting it, and even like Harry Kane's only 23 or Dele Alli 21, even though they feel like they've been around for quite a few years now. But you got things like Sergio Herrera. I'm terrible at names, but yeah, Ben Davies as well. You got Harry Winks, obviously. Eric Dyer's only 23. That sounds crazy. Walker Peters is only 20. Some of these players have been around, it feels like, for so long. I mean, Song's only 24. They've got a really good young team, and they probably do need, you could argue maybe that they need a defender coming in with Vertonghen getting a little bit older. Maybe they could do with a little bit better in midfield. I think they could do with definitely another striker. Sorry, Harry Kane's obviously excellent. He's fantastic, and Llorente is a good striker, but they could probably do with one more really decent, I think, proper striker up front. But yeah, you got Davinson Sanchez, and there's such a good youth about this team, as well as some really good sort of older heads as well. I just felt it was a really good team to sort of pick, and yeah, they're probably, like I said, I'm not in particularly, I don't particularly follow the Premiership that often because I'm an Aston Villa supporter. So apart from I'll keep an eye out for results and I'll watch Match of the Day now and again, I'm not really following the Premiership at the moment. I'm all about the Championship. And I only have a limited amount of time to watch so much football because my wife doesn't particularly like football, so if I put that on TV, she moans at me. So I've got a little deal with her that I'm allowed to watch Villa, I'm allowed to watch England, or important big games like Champions League finals and FA Cup finals and that sort of stuff. So I don't know the team as well as maybe I should, or maybe as well as a lot of other people do, in that sense of I don't even really know the Premiership as well. So I just thought it would be a nice little challenge anyway. But I've been waffling on about that. So, but yeah, like I said, it's a director of football challenge. So I should introduce you to the director of football, and it is Matthias Sammer. Some people might know him. I'm not sure. Obviously, he was like the director of football at Bayern until a couple of seasons ago. He was also heavily involved in the German national team as well as he had a spell at Stuttgart, and obviously Dortmund as a player and then as a manager. So I think he's probably pretty well known. But the reason I mainly picked him, even though he's not English and he doesn't speak English and he hasn't got any English sort of here, like he doesn't really know English football, is his stats are really, really good. He's really determined. He's got great level of discipline. Management is okay. His motivation is really good, and he's judging and his judging potential and ability are really good as well. So I thought, do you know what? I think this guy could be actually really good for us, and I don't think it'll take him long to pick up English football at all. So yeah, and he's only 49, and he's a young age, really. So he could quite easily, unless someone kind of steals him as a manager or something like that, he could quite easily be around for a good sort of 10 years or so, I felt. So yeah, we'll see how he gets on, and we'll see how the series goes. Hopefully you guys will enjoy it. Like I said, I'm hoping it will be a decent little series. Hopefully it will go on for 3 or 4, 5 seasons maybe. I'm not sure. We'll see how it goes. We'll just play it naturally as we feel. But as I said, we were talking about the squad, and I mentioned some of the youth players. I mean, you've got other players as well. You've got, Vertonghen and Alderweireld, who's absolutely fantastic. And sorry if I say some of these names slightly wrong, but you've got things like Miss Dembele as well, Sissoko, Christian Eriksen, who I would argue I think is one of the best footballers. Some people might think I'm being mad here. I put him up there as being as influential and as good as the likes of Ronaldo and Messi and Neymar and all that lot. Some people might, I know people disagree with that. I honestly think he is that good a player. Yeah, he's one of my all-time favourite players, especially over the last 3 or 4 seasons. And I mean, he's been at Spurs now for quite a few years. He's for 5 seasons already. But yeah, I honestly think he is. I think he is such a fantastic player. That's my personal opinion. Everyone has the rights to say differently. But obviously you've got Harry Kane, who's absolutely fantastic. Michael Vaughan is a fantastic goalie, and in many other squads he'd be the first choice. Unfortunately, he's got probably one of the best in the world with Hugo Lloris just ahead of him in that. But and you look at things like Danny Rose, really good left back. He's only 20 and he's only 26. I mean, I can't believe how young some of these players. Some of these players feel like they should be a lot older than they actually are. I mean, I remember going to see Harry Kane when he was playing before he really broke into the squad against Villa in, I think it was the League Cup. Tottenham played them about 4, maybe 5 years ago, and he was absolutely fantastic then. But yeah, I mean, Danny Rose is injured. Eric Lamana. I can't speak today. Right, yeah, I mean, he's only 25 as well, but he's not a bad right back or right midfielder even. Sorry, attacking midfielder. I mean, Son has been doing wonders for Tottenham. He's got 18 goals in his career so far, and I would imagine most of them were in the season before. They were 14, but he's been doing fantastic the last couple of seasons as well. So overall, I do think this could be a really, really good squad, and if we can bring in a couple of players, like I said, I think we could maybe do a midfielder. We could definitely do a striker, and possibly one defender, depending on what tactic I decide to play. I'll show you the tactics. I'm sort of going between these two, and I'm thinking something like this would probably work maybe a little bit better, or even something like this would work out quite well, because I want to obviously play Eriksen, and you got Dele Alli as well, who can play down here. Yeah, so it's difficult because obviously Eriksen is fantastic, and it's really good to have him up here somewhere. But then I want sort of like a defensive. I like a defensive person in the midfield, so I've got to have a little think about this as well, which is why I was thinking of playing like the 3 across there, and maybe playing quite a sort of more of a compact middle sort of. I'm not sure yet. I haven't quite decided on what system I want to play. As I say, I can go with the standard sort of 4-2-3-1, and it would work very well for Tottenham, I would imagine, with some of the players they have, especially if you wanted to go attacking. But we'll wait and see on that. So yeah, I think all there really is now left to do is say we'll wait, and I'll get through to the first game of the season, and we'll see how it gets on. So let me know in the description or in the comments. Just let me if you think the idea of the save is a good idea, if you would have picked this team or anything like that, or just want to say hello to me, just leave it, say something in the comment. Obviously drop a like and a subscribe as well, and I will see you when we get on to the Huddersfield game, and hopefully we'll have some signings by then, and we can talk about it a little bit more. Right, I'll see you guys in a second. Right guys, welcome back there, and as you can see we're up to the first game of the season, and I've decided I'm not going to bring you a game this episode. When I was looking at it, I looked at a bit closely more at the schedule. I realised we've got Man City and Chelsea the next 2 games, and I thought, do you know what, that'd be a great double live com for the next episode. No point bringing so I thought I won't bother bringing the Huddersfield game. We'll just quickly talk about like the dynamics and everything like that. So I do apologise if you were looking forward to the Huddersfield game. But yeah, I just sort of thought we've got quite a bit to talk about, and the episode will end up being sort of 30-40 minutes long if I'm not careful. So next episode will be obviously the Man City and the Chelsea game. We'll probably have a few more, hopefully maybe 1 or 2 more signings to talk about, because we have been making, the director of football has made a few signings for us, and yeah, so I thought, you know what, big games, they'll be fantastic. I mean, then I could play quite a few games, maybe even get down to sort of like the Liverpool game. I'm going to try and bring sort of the bigger teams for you first season, and then maybe we'll start playing some of the lower ones, unless we have like a decent FA Cup run or something like that, and then I'll obviously bring you that. But as I said, we have made some signings, and it's been quite a bit busy. As you can see, we've got a couple of players who have gone out on loan. A couple of youngsters all look reasonably good, look like they could be turning into some decent players. Carizar Sterling, Luke Amos looks like a decent defensive midfielder, and this guy whose name I can't pronounce, Georges Kevin Nkudu, I'll go with that. Left winger looks actually really good, and 22 years old. Maybe he might not ever make the Tottenham squad, but I could see him being a decent Championship player, and probably someone, or even maybe a lower Premiership player. But as you can see, we have brought in 3 players, or the director of football has brought in 3 players. First person he brought in was Christian Pulisic from Borussia Dortmund. Obviously a great talent and a brilliant sort of left midfield player. Can play out on the right though as well if you need him to. And I mean, I know this guy from the Borussia Dortmund save I did. He is absolutely fantastic talent, and he really does. And that's the one thing I'll say is actually quite a few of the signs really fit in with the ethos I felt of Tottenham about these young up and coming players who, you know, really could break into the squads. As I was talking about before, we've got quite a lot of sort of young players, and this guy sort of embellishes all that as well. Really, you know, he's only 18 years old, probably going to be one of the top footballers for the next 10 years, I would imagine, in real life, let alone on this game. I think he is an absolutely fantastic talent. Still got a little bit of work to go, I think, on some of his stats, but yeah, he's absolutely brilliant. And we had to pay 30 million for him though, which was a bit of a kick in the old transfer budget. But he's obviously been at Borussia Dortmund for the last few seasons. Really broke through last season, played 29 for him, scored 3. But I think he'll do a good job on the left for us. We then brought in Donny van der Beek, Ajax youngster, midfielder, can play sort of right across the midfield. And again, another player that really embodies this whole youth sort of, you know, bringing in these young players and everything like that. And again, probably needs a little bit of a couple of years, and he could possibly be a fantastic player. But I think he'll do a good job for us, especially in the midfield. We can also drop him back into like the defensive midfield if we need to, or even up front, or sort of like in the attacking playmaker roles if we need to in the attacking midfield. So overall, really happy with him. And then we go to the other scale, and we're only a 31-year-old striker because we didn't really have much money left. But we've got Andre Pierre Gigantic, I'll go with. Looks like he's a good player, actually. I mean, I was coming towards the end of his career, but I think as a backup for Harry Kane, and obviously, you know, I said we need a striker. We've got Harry Kane, and we've also got, wherever he is, if I can find him, where are you? Llorente, there he is, who's at 32. So we've got 2 sort of players who can easily fill in for Harry Kane if need be. But overall, I feel like would be pretty good for us, and I think he'll do a decent job. Like I said, he's going to be more of a backup. He's not going to start every game, but I think he'll do all right. So yeah, we brought in 3 players, which I thought was quite a decent amount, good business. Staff wise, by God, we've brought in a lot. Obviously, Pochettino went because I came in. But as you can see, obviously, after I brought Summer in, we have brought in a lot of players. Tottenham don't have, I don't know if it was because the way I set it up or whatever, but we didn't have a lot of staff really. And as you can see now, everything's filled. And we might not have the highest, but we're above average on everything, and we're doing pretty well. We're second on that one, third. We've got one of the better coaching teams anyway in the Premiership now. So overall, I'm really happy with that, and I think it's really good. I don't actually know how much money do we have left, if I can see. We've still got £40 million left, but we're way over our wage budget available. I might need to actually look at that. Actually, make a budget adjustment. I didn't look at that. We could definitely do with try and sort out our wage budget a little bit, because we don't want to go into the red or anything like that. We don't want to be spending money that we don't need to. So that's probably going to look a little bit better now. Yeah, there we go. We've got 95k to spend, not 95k below. It does leave us only £5 million, but we've got a couple of players that I wanted. Dembele's wanted, Wayama's wanted as well. So you never know, one of these players might actually end up going. We'll have to wait and see what the director of football decides. Yeah, I didn't. The other things I didn't show you before was like the dynamics. As you can see, the dynamics is pretty good actually. Overall, there's a really good atmosphere around the club. Dressing room atmosphere has dropped down a tiny little bit. I'm not quite sure why. Hierarchy, as you would imagine, you've got Kane, Vertonghen, Lloris as team leaders. Couple of new players down here, but overall, I feel like it's not too bad. And the social groups as well. A couple of the new players sort of trying to find their place, but overall, everyone seems to sort of be in reasonably decent groups together. And I'm pretty happy with everything. Happiness is really good as well. And I think that is pretty much everything to show you. I can't think of anything else. I probably am missing something, and I do apologise if I am. We haven't had anything like the Champions League draws or anything like that yet, so we're still waiting on that. Hopefully, maybe after the Huddersfield game, we will have that when I come back for the next episode on the Man City and Chelsea game. But yeah, I think that's pretty much everything to talk about. As I said, it's just been a case of going through and sort of seeing who we're going to buy and everything like that. It's that's the thing I didn't tell you actually. As you can see, the friendlies have gone really well. We went on a bit of an American tour, and as you can see, apart from the Colorado game where we drew 1-1, everything has gone really, really well for us. So can't complain about that. Team's looking pretty fit, put in squad wise. Everything's looking really good. Pulisic picked up a little bit of a knock. As you can see, Aurier picked up a little bit of a knock as well. A couple of players coming back quite soon though. So again, it's one of those ones where overall, I'll put you into the under 23s. Overall though, I'm really happy with how things are going, and I think we should be able to hit the hit the sort of beginning of the season in full force and really try and make a good sort of move up into the higher reaches of the league. As you can see, stage wise, and if I go quickly, we'll see preview wise, we are meant to be finishing 6th. I want to finish higher than that. I'm looking for a top 4 finish, if I'm honest, and I think we can do that pretty well. I mean, the likes of Arsenal and Liverpool and that, I think we can catch them. It should be a tough one though, but it will go alright. I'm pretty sure it will be fine. And I think that's everything to talk about. So, as I said at the beginning of the episode as well, drop a like, subscribe to me. It would be great if you want to follow the series. Let me know your thoughts on the series as well. It would mean the absolute world. Follow me on Twitter as well. My little handle has been down in the bottom right, as it is every episode. But there'll be a link in the description as well. And I will see you on the next episode, guys. Also, as well, remember to follow my AFC Rushden and Diamonds Lower League Management Save. We're in our 3rd season, going really, really well on that one. So come and follow that as well. We're just about to start a 4th season actually on that one. As this episode comes out, we're pretty much finishing the end of the 3rd season. But yeah, as I said, it's been an absolute pleasure as always, and I will see you guys on the next episode. Bye for now.